Good morning, everybody. Yes, I'm awake. It'll be as alive and well. I always have this fuzz stuff that comes from my comforter. I can't stand it. I'm like watching it in the video. Like, how do I get that? Okay, I got it. Yeah. So, gosh, it's the strangest thing, y'all. Like I'm sitting down, like right here in the chair, and it's something with my hips, and I can feel these weird pains. Like the pains happen when sitting. They're most of the time happening when I'm sitting. If I'm up active, moving around, I have no issues. Like I can get busy. But let's say it like this. Let's talk about some gratitude. Let's be fortunate and happy for a second here. I am definitely grateful and in a happy position with my body that I am not going through a lot of the stuff that a lot of people are going through. And we are, most of us that are looking or able to watch these videos are in a better position than a lot of people. And maybe just taking a little bit of time to acknowledge that can go a long way. And that is something that I want to do right now. So there's also a sense of duty. Now, I'm not telling you guys that this is like the path. I can't tell you what your purpose is or any of that shit. I'm telling you what will give you a more meaningful life, a more purposeful life, making a life of purpose. And again, if you haven't watched my earliest video about Tony Parsons' non duality, I clearly say make up your own illusion. It's very, very easy, but you have to kind of trick your mind. And sometimes the mind isn't easily tricked. But that's a game you play with yourself. You have to develop this imaginative belief skill. Like it's like having an imaginary friend and you're talking with them. You all are kind of like that for me. I never get a comment really to expand on any of these subjects. So how do I know you really exist? Is it just some people coming in and every now and then hitting the like button, or is it a bunch of bots? I'm not sure. I have no idea, but I know I'm not engaging with you. And even if I had engagement, who's to say that wasn't a bot? I have to imagine that some of this is benefiting for someone. And my sense of duty is to increase that level of, I guess, attractability. Because it's not like I'm not passionate about what I speak about. It's more or less that I don't deliver it in a nice enough package. And there are ways to do this. There are things that YouTube is definitely encouraging more of. And I'm aware of this from the past. It sucks when you don't carry with momentum because it's like you have to restart all of that. And that becomes like the knowledge sector too. Like I have a background in electronics, but do not put me on electrical circuit. I do not know what the fuck I'm doing anymore. So you have to stay constant or consistent in order for you to be relevant for whatever it is that you're doing. Right now, I'm probably a jack of all trades. I'm moving stuff. I'm meeting with other individuals, talking on different subjects. I'm learning a lot on health again. That seems to never end. But that's what my game plan is to take the other channel, and I'm going to start doing some Premiere work. And on there, I'll just show up at this certain time. Well, I'll have all my material ready, prepped, ready to go, and I'll just go with the live session, and whatever gets brought up there and discussed will just be like a daily thing, and I'll just keep posting some of this content, and I'll see what I can do. I think it'll be interesting. It's definitely it's like passion mixed with present and hopefully some value. The value is a key thing. If you got some enjoyment after it, or you like the perspectives that I give on different things that I view, I have a lot, and it's nice to hear sometimes material I haven't heard before. So we'll see how that goes. Figure out the subject matter and the topics. Yeah, I think it'll be good. What else? I'm just happy that I'm functioning today. I have my mid back pain's a little bit less. I've got some moving I think I need to get done today. I was going to do a grape fast. I feel like my body is needing some help. And I wrote down a quote that if you don't listen to your body won't listen to you. And so I'm trying to listen to the signals to be able to continue to function optimally. and I don't know how this is going to work because a lot of people experience some kind of paradoxical effects. This is something that if you were to take or thiamine, B1 thiamine, if you're taking a high dosage, you'll start having these other problems, and you'll be like, it's called paradoxical because sometimes the symptoms for which you're taking it for get worse before it gets better. And it's weird because you got to think your system's adapted a certain way. It takes time to change over or turn over into the other chemicals, setup. And I've just been learning a lot of this, and this is like repeated information that keeps coming about. And I think like people that were on just like eating a grapefruit diet or grape diet or eating fruit for 30 days, preferably, hopefully, what their body was asking for. I think mine is asking for lemons or tangerines. It's kind of, if I had to listen, it's going for those kind of things. Watermelon was good when it was, but I don't think I can handle it now. Grapes, I've got that here. But I need to get on some of it. And the people that had their issues like kidney disease or all their problems, even cancer-related issues, were getting healed up within 30 days. That's not that long, but you have to go through the process. And if 1 week feels like forever, it's going to be hard to get there. And I know that I want to start practicing this. And it's like getting enough calories. There's a lot of people keep speaking about these calories. You have to get this certain amount. And I can't disagree because my workouts, let's say that I'm very active. My demand for calories goes way up. And the calories do help. Like I can't be without them. Like I can eat other stuff, but if it doesn't have calorie density to it, I'm weak. And I don't want to lose too much strength or energy. And I'm going to have to figure out, my body's going to have to go through an adaptation process to be more efficient, I think, with what it has. And it's going to take some time. But the people that I was researching, I came across this one individual. I'll see if I can get his name. Oh, yeah. His information. It's on the chick's name, Gillian Berry. And Gillian Berry interviews all these different raw vegans. And if anybody knows me, I'm more carnivore based. But I like seeing alternative views to what I prescribe to. And I'm trying to see here who she interviews here. I think it's Orville Douglas. So this guy's name is Orville Douglas. And he's been like a fruitarian for like 20 some years. He's overall been raw foods diet for I think at least 25 to 30 years. He's been doing this for a long time, and he's fruitarian now for like the last 10 or 15 years. And he's extremely motivating. He's got high energy. He discussed different things that I think would be beneficial for anybody that's looking at this diet. Some of the questions that were asked is, how do you avoid tooth decay, from the fruit? And he said, anyone that sits and just does fruit doesn't have any dental issues. Like they have either a oral hygiene issue or they're eating something in combination with the fruit. And that's what's causing a lot of the teeth decay. So he says, as long as you're eating just fruit, you won't suffer any of those issues. He says it's an alkaline type food. Anyways, he's been doing it for that damn long. I think he's got a good testimony, and he's helped people. So he's got people that have stories that have successfully reversed or gotten better from their conditions off of just fruit. And he says the fruit is extremely healing. He says people take herbs. He says the herbs don't do anything. He says the herbs are like medication. So it's like, he says, it's not like they don't work. They fix things, but you got to constantly keep taking them. So it's almost like a medication. You'll never get off of them. He says, but when you take something like fruit actually goes through and addresses the issues. He said, and then when he said about paradoxical effects, he didn't say it that way, but that's what he was talking about. He says sometimes people will get on these diets, like the fruit diet, and they'll immediately experience pain in the areas or some area that they had in the past, and they're like a little bit concerned that this diet is hurting them. And he says, no, just stick with it. That's actually your body addressing something. It has a signal of an issue and it's going off. Now that I believe, I've had those issues when been on cleaner diets. Like my body addresses or identifies the issue, maximizes some of the alert system there, and then I'm getting better. And it's like once that's through, boom, it goes to the next thing. I won't have that pain anymore. It'll go and do some other areas. And I've definitely experienced that kind of paradoxical effect. So he starts discussing about things with fruit and fat. And if you haven't noticed, I love talking about diet and nutrition. So you guys just get a benefit if you're here watching this channel, but the other one will have it a little bit more, cleaner put together. I'll have a nice couple little topics that I like to hit on because I feel like it's important. And let's see here. So his name is, of course, Orville Douglas. And I think he's like in his 50s or something like that. Just like full of energy. Works out every day. He's not that big because he's on a fruit diet, of course. That's not easy. He eats only one time a day, too, at that. So he'll eat like whatever his fruit consumption or desire is, requirement for like the midday. And he's good to the next day. If he works out a little harder, maybe he wants a little bit more fruit. Whatever that is, he gets it done in one meal. So, again, not that much and at one meal. And so, anyways, Gillian Barry brings up this doctor that's 93 years old. And I watched him when he was 92 giving another speech on something else. But he's been a fruitarian doctor. He's natural foods, raw food diet. He doesn't. He says it's very difficult for people to get on a raw food diet, and I understand that. He says because the people don't want to wait for that chemical turnover. It's like a difficult transition, and so he tries to meet people where they're at and identify and make meal plans that are more catered to what they're dealing with. So it's not just a shocking transformation. A lot of people do this thing shockingly. I'm the same. I would be like, right now, I would start doing grapes and I wouldn't care about anything else. I would just do a complete 180. And the body is like a shock. So he doesn't really talk about it like that, but I know that that's an experience that somebody could, go through. But what he says here, his name is Dr. Fred Bisci, and I hope I'm saying that right, or Bisci, but his last name is Bisci. So he's a raw vegan for 58 years, and he's 92 years old in the video I was watching, and I couldn't get enough info. Like, he was just giving stuff, and it was great content. Great. He hasn't really, I don't think he's observed enough of the carnivore community. But again, like, it's almost like why would he spend time over in that camp whenever he's doing well in his own camp? He's healed so many different people too, and he's got his own personal success. Hey, just last year, which would have made him 91 from the video I'm watching, he was running with his grandkids on his back for 15 miles. He's 91 at that time. It's insane. And the only thing that screwed him up is because he had a car accident that's caused him to kind of keep rotating his spine. And it's causing a pinched nerve, which is just severe. But he's hopeful in trying to get some of that, fixed. But he can't go underneath any kind of gas. He says risky for him at his age. But he's 92. And then he made the video of 93 talking about some other stuff. So I think he knows a thing or two. It's good to listen to the wisdom. And so he said this, and the other guy mentioned this, and it just the two parallel. So when you start to eat fruit goes into the body, and it doesn't want to have, it's like a quick absorber for the mitochondria. And if you know anything about that, your cells respond to sugar and glucose instantly. So they take it up, and they're ready to use the energy. But whenever you add things in the equation with fruit, and this other guy that I was talking about, Orville, says fruit should be ate by itself completely, never with anything else. because fruit is an instant charger. And like if you consume anything with higher amounts of fat, so fat is in fruit. A lot of people don't know that, but fat's in fruit. But if you start to add up too much fat in with the carbs can't make it efficiently to the mitochondria to deliver nutrients and information. This is, again, maybe it's theoretical, maybe it's not, I don't really know, but it makes sense to me. And because if you've ever tracked how fats work, fats have a delay process in their delivery of energy. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. I'm not saying one's good or bad, but I know that if you need some instant power, that carbs are the way to go. And if you have something like fats in there, your liver is processing both of these things, and it's like, oh, it's not like it's overwhelming, but it can be, especially if it's overwhelmed with holding on to different fats, like, carrying a fatty liver. I mean, alcohol causes this kind of stuff. There's all kinds of things. And I noticed, like with me, I drank 2 nights in a row. The first night was painful the next day. The second night, like this morning, I feel much, much better. And I even went to bed later, which is interesting. It's like my body is started to become more adapted to the drinking. And that's the whole point, is like this adaptation process. You got to be careful. And I don't want to get adapted to drinking alcohol. Well, not really. It's not my thing. So consuming carbs without fat, just consume fruit, and mainly fruit, by itself will give you the energy you're looking for. Now, granted, the older gentleman, he's a raw food diet. He eats all kinds of stuff. He eats nuts every now and then. He's not a big nut person. I think he takes vitamin D and B12 supplements. So he doesn't take them every day. It's like every now and then, because he's never really had issues for so long in his journey, even with taking supplements. He just started taking those recently, more in his later years. So it's not even like it's a major requirement for the diet on these the things that he's consuming. He's a real big proponent of sprouts. He thinks the sprouts are very good to consume. And I don't really know what the heck else. I'm trying to remember if there's... He says people can get healed on a starch diet. And when you say starch, it's like, what kind of starch is what when I keep hearing starch, I think about bread. So I'd like to know what he means by that. And starch is potatoes. What are we talking about? But he says most of these diets, he goes, there's a reason why they're all successful. He says it don't matter if it's carnivore or whatever. He says most of the time people are cleaning up their diet. And it is not like I haven't heard this before. I heard this too many times. People clean up their diets with all the processed foods. And as long as they're just getting something that's more isolated or removed from that, they incur better health. And but there's a slippery slope, I think, in that behavior, because if some foods trigger other demands. And so I've got these backup processed foods hanging out in my kitchen, and I want to say that they're good for me at that time that I want to consume them, and they play a bad role downstream. I don't know. And like, I've been having this burning sensation now when I go to the bathroom to pee, and I started thinking, like, did that previous girl, that last ex, did she give me something? I gotta get checked for STDs. It's like, oh, it gets me angry. But I don't know yet. I peed this morning, it was just fine. So I don't know if it's supplemental related. It's probably supplemental related. So I have to watch what I'm taking. I took a lot of stuff yesterday, but I did feel better. So I got to figure out what's going on. Got slight headaches. I think that's coming from some of the stuff I took. I don't know. But guys, I'm not going to make this crazy, crazy long. You already know what it is. We're going to make a positive day. We'll try to get some stuff done, make a list of things I need to handle at the other place, and just keep this motivational factor going. I don't want to stop. I don't want to get too set in stone, because there's too much momentum. There's an even better video making system that I saw on this the AI channel, and it was free. So it's like I paid $500 some bucks on this other crap for no freaking reason. I hate spending stupid money, and then I'm like, I'm not happy with the product. And they tax you. They don't even make it unlimited. It's too silly. Can't test the product out well. No A/B split testing there. Split your butt out. Anyways, you guys have a good one. See you on the next video, or maybe you check out my live stream on the other channel. You have to look for it. All right, I ain't gonna tell you. Peace out.